Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Art Attack, and I thank Bill for his one of last week, which was all about John the Baptist, which was really interesting. Today, we are moving back to Scotland. You might have known it was always going to be on the cards, and we find ourselves here. This is Helensburgh seafront, or certainly part of it. This is the town in which I was born and raised and brought up. It sits on the Clyde. That's a picture of Sinclair Street looking right down across the Clyde, and you see Greenock and Goodwick there. There's a lovely picture of the town from the sea, and that's Benbury behind you. That's looking over towards Glenfruin and eventually over to Ben Lomond and Loch Lomond and all the rest of it. And here's another nice picture of Helensburgh Cahoon Square. Didn't look like that when I was a wee boy. Not quite as nice as that. It looked a wee bit like that, but not quite as nice. But it was a lovely, lovely town to grow up in, to be born into, to grow up in. It's got wonderful, wide lined streets because it was done by the architect, created by the architect, who also did the new town in Edinburgh. And the reason I wanted to talk to you about my hometown was basically because of this building. Those of you who have a canny eye for art will recognise it instantly. It is the creation of Charles Rennie Mackintosh, and it is the Hill House in Helensburgh. So it sits at the very, very top of Helensburgh and was built, it was a commission, built for one of the very rich industrial magnates of Glasgow at the time, who wanted to get away from the muck of the city, and commissioned Charles Rennie Mackintosh to build the Hill House. He's very famous, of course, for doing the Glasgow School of Art, and it was great sadness that, of course, the place burned down. I haven't heard an upshot, but the Hill House is still standing. And interestingly, fire isn't the problem with the Hill House, it's damp. It's a glorious building. When I was a wee boy, I used to play up and around it, and occasionally, if there was a bit of money around, we used to pay to go inside, and this is what it looks like inside. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. Charles Rennie Mackintosh did a fantastic job of decorating it and displaying all the furniture he created, and most of it is still original and still in the house. That's the main hall in and the landing upstairs. It's a wonderful place, and his stuff is quite extraordinary. But like I said, it's got a problem with damp. Even when I was a little boy, the outside of the building was discoloured, and they wondered how they could remedy this without actually half destroying the building so that they could conserve it. And they've decided to come up by covering it. And they have constructed this wonderfully amazing looking cover that goes over the whole house. And they actually invited some local school children to come up with water pistols and soak the covering to make sure it was absolutely as clear as it could be and no water could get through. So that's what the Hill House looks like now, and will look like for quite a few years until they carry out what remedial work they have to do to maintain the building itself. I sometimes think our faith is a bit like that we cover it over because we are sometimes a little bit ashamed that we're not good enough, that maybe we have imperfections, maybe we're not perfect. But of course, God doesn't want us all to be perfect. He wants us just to be us. So as we continue this time of the art attacks, time of online services and shielding from one another, all I would ask is that you don't shield your faith from one another, that you don't shield it from God, that you spend time praying to God, thinking about God and being with God, because it's only in the opening up do we truly see the magnificence of what he has created. So my blessing be upon you, and I hope you've enjoyed this art attack. God bless.